to the Live Slice account, where we tell you victims in horror movies, anime, TV shows, action flicks, music videos, YouTube chaos, and beyond. If it bleeds, mutates, or explodes, I'm confident. Today, on today's target, a classic.How High, released in 1986. Directed by Lloyd Kaufman, who actually alias, his original name is Sam Elias. The mad mind behind the Toxic Avenger, Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, and Return of the Nuke High Volume 1 and 2. This one, Radioactive. Two innocent teens take a hit on radioactive weed. Suddenly, Tromaville High became a mutation massacre. Students melt, mutate, and go on full punk apocalypse. Gore, slime, and chaos, Tromaville style. Honestly, the first film is actually the first film is have the original cast. The second film didn't even have the original cast. The third film is just have one guy play all three characters. I am not joking. And we got Volume 1 and 2, which is a remake. With a surprisingly good ending. So how many lives did these mutants take? Let's find out and count and let's count the lives lost. Man, these mutants are trashing everything. On my laptop, how I get these mutants off my laptop? Well, I can help you. Well, you can actually do Opera. Opera is a free browser extension that actually have tab islands that allows you to make free space for your number one means. Also, it can actually play a music player on your Opera. Please go to the Opera website to learn more. And tune in for this class of Nuke High Lives Lost count. With Lloyd Kaufman, who actually created the films with Michael Hurd, presented the Troma team release. We open to Tromaville, a town that overshadowed it's by a nuclear plant. Inside are workers expect a leak, a toxic spill, an alarm blared, and everyone panics. But Mr. Paisley, one of the workers, insists that they don't need to shut down. He actually lies so the plant stay open. They cut to Tromaville High, where they contaminated spread to actually water. Dewey, a student, drank the fountain that actually turned the water into toxic sludge. A teacher yells at the class to shut up, and the Principal Wesley actually called an announcer. It's a darn drill. But Dewey not okay. He actually started to attack Greg, but he actually started foaming green slime out of his mouth and run out the window, and he started to melt in front of everyone at 6 minutes and 50 seconds. One student quips that one way to get out of class. And then we have the title card and the theme music. Class of Nuke High. Back at the plant, workers scan the contamination, and Mr. Paley find the connection, but he lies. Meanwhile, we actually meet Warren and Christy. And the side scene, Cappy, who actually slaps Eddie after creepy advances. Mr. Paley preaches that nuclear energy is clean energy. Sure, but the school is falling apart. Everybody Maka doing death and much darker brewing. Okay, let me the Cretans. Spike, the leader of the Cretans, Gorzo, Pete, Spud, Dewey, the victim of the toxic water, George, Joe, Toru, Eddie, Muffy, Greg, Judy, the effects teams were low budget, but the creativity trick bring Dewey meltdown to life. Troma is famous for using neon slime for Dewey using. They actually use a non-toxic mixture of food coloring, melatonin, a fixture use and water-safe gel. This allows the actor to spit on the drill and makeup. Dewey melted is used latex augmentation, tissue layers, grease paint, hand apply goo, similar skin breakdown, and intentional over the top budget can't be aesthetic. Instead of expensive electronic Troma rely on a quick cuts of slime close-up, hand pull over latex, smoke, and illusion of Dewey body destabilize it out. The melted use create wet rags, gelatin, slime balls. Why Dewey matters? Dewey is a catalyst of the eye is real. The plant is leaking. The school is contaminated. The tone is horror, satire, and absurdity, and the cretins take over. His death was the first domino in Tromaville Radioactive collapse. Warren and Chrissy walk into school, and Tom get harassed by the cretins. They are surround him and shove him around and beat him up. Then it cuts to one of the cretins that attack the bake sale. Spike and Grunzo cause the chaos, and Spike tells Grunzo that it show up the box. We up Ronnie, who actually deal with the radioactive weed. They joke that they call it atomic high, that they get super high, and they go to the college party, and they actually bring the weed with them and sell it for $10 and tell everyone is it atomic high. So honestly, Eddie and Greg actually bring it at the party, and they while fast people are dancing, drinking beer, making out, and pack, and some girls are topless. One guy licked Chrissy, and which freaks her out, and too wild. And Warren and Chrissy, they don't want to get into sex. They push around and chaos, and finally they get hands on a Atomic High joint, and everyone smoke it. It's strong, and Chrissy, honestly, somebody stomp on it, but Chrissy affects hard, and Warren, as she's okay, she feel wonderful, and Warren's anything doesn't feel anything yet. Upstairs, a guy's got, honestly, Eddie and Greg got punched, hit by a guy, and the party got crazier. Warren and Chrissy get away, and from the noise, things that turn romantic, and they start kissing and lead to intimate, which is sexy time. While the party rages on, Eddie and Greg sneak up and watch, but they get shut down by the girls. After that, Christy and Warren take Christy home, and Warren say woohoo, and Warren kiss Christy picture and the black light. Fun fact. It's the holographer for Chrissy and Warren, and they get strange dreams where Warren's body his members start to grow, and Christy's stomach starts to swell and got a tentacle out of it, and he starts to grow breasts. It was all hallucination from the radioactive weed, and they both wake up and they went back to sleep. To actually Honestly, it was created because to continue the formula from the Toxic Avenger. Because Troma first breakout hit was the Toxic Avenger, and Lloyd Kaufman wanted another movie that for absurd comedy, practical effects, social satire, and outrageous violence. They actually want it bigger, weirder, and more chaotic, but that's still mistakenly trauma. And they want to satirize the nuclear panic. During the mid 80s, America dealt with the nuclear plant controversy, environmental protests, the fear of radiation, and the coal anxiety. Kaufman wanted an opportunity to parody those fears by setting the story in a high school next to an electric nuclear power plant. The ideal. What if Toxic Away did create superhero? It ruined an entire school. To mock a youth culture and punk. The 80s had a panic around punk gangs, drug, corruption, youth, and school violence. So Crawford exaggerated it to the Cretans, a mutated leather-clad parody of every adult fear about teenagers. To make it low-budget movies that look. Troma specialized in cheap sets, practical science, DIY effects, outrageous characters, high school toxic ways was the perfect background for melting students, radioactive mutant babies, slime explosion, and to build the Troma universe. Kaufman wanted Tromaville to live and breathe in a radioactive world class of nuclear high universe with new characters, new monsters, and new satire. It helped to cement the identity of the kings of trash cinema. In short, Lloyd Kaufman created classic nuclear high because he wanted that was a cheap to make, lot of chaotic political satire, full of slime and mutant, and worthy success for it become of Troma biggest cult classic because it embraced everything ridiculous about the 80s and turned into a radioactive comedy, fear of nuclear and environmental negligence. The entire plot exists because Tromaville nuclear plant cuts corners, ignore safety, and lies about comfort and corporation danger, and the public paid the price. This themes memories nuclear meltdown, toxic waste, government cover-ups, ever. And Troma accelerated the comedy into real core. Corruption of the youth. The creatures are the worst nightmare. They mutate violence at drug fuel. It's a parody of the drug paranoia. Radioactive weed or Tromaville High, is an anti-drug paranoid product that is instead of weed that make you lazy, Troma go full assert weed that turn you into a mutant. It mocks the ideal of instantly and uh, and mutation in a metaphor for puberty. Warren and Christie hallucination about by training after weed smoke are celebration of hormonal confusion, sexual awakening, fear of body changing, trauma turned into radioactive by authority failure. Every adult in the movie is useless or correct. Principal Worsley ignored danger. Mr. Paisley lies to the plane. The teacher can control the creature. The workers cover incompetence. The themes are the people in charge don't care about. So, the satire of the 80s. The film mocks the tropes, teen romance, school cliches, pep rallies, good kids versus bad kids. Instead of the tension and heartbreaks, its stakes are slime, mutation, slime, and reaction. Tromaville is a background in between. The normal students trying to survive, the mutant punks that take over, and the system collapse under its own corruption. The themes are more complicated, literal or metaphor, spread, order, and break down fast. Transform and identity. Warren and Chrissy, strange dream and physical changes reflect losing control of their bodies, your body, and something. Honestly, they are losing their bodies, Christy and Warren. The fear of becoming something else. It play for comedy, but the DNA horror. It's actually lunchtime, and Greg, Eddie give Warren a hard time. They told Warren that they got the weed from the Cretans. And they, honestly, both Christy and Warren feel yucky. And the illusion actually Gorzo actually eat their food, and Warren actually got mad at Gorzo. The German teacher, Mrs. Stein, who actually got kissed with her spike, and she got turned into a cretin. Got sick, and he actually got home. Warren said he's home, and he feel worse. Then the appliances start to flicker, and he black out. And the old lady is actually, and honestly, Spike and Pete actually pretend to have a epileptic seizure and start stealing from the lady. And Spike attack the lady and beat her to death. She died from her wounds. at 38 minutes and 28 seconds. Pete grab her purse and Beethoven. One of the other cretins, not the dog, is with them during the robbery. While Spike is finished up, Warren, in a mutated state, Peter is trying to be a Warren, but his head got burned because he's actually in a mutated state. And in the chaos, Warren kills Beethoven, the cretin, by throwing him against the wall at 39 minutes and 55 seconds. Spike come from the corner and got knocked out and tried to find Warren, but he got thrown like a rag doll and knocked out. But Pete tried to fight, but Pete got suffocated during the struggle because he got suffocated by Warren's arm at 40 minutes and 21 seconds. Honestly, the Cretans drive to the junkyard, and Spike tells the gang what happened. They were beat up, and the other two were dead. Warren wakes up. Warren wakes up later with no memory of what happened, and the cheerleaders are practicing, and Christy not doing so well. Her stomach grow, and something inside, and she had to puke, and she panicked, and she was taken to the hospital, and the doctor explained to Mrs. Murphy that she had a miscarriage, and somehow she was 9 months pregnant. If you actually want to know, Chrissy told him that he terrified. Now the monster came out. Christy, now in the school kitchen movie, is mutated. Warren say it's Eddie's fault. Troma using the quick cuts, stunt timing, padded fill, and rig that a more collapse, but without graphic violence. For Beethoven, a lightweight stun dummy for suspension and cue sound, fast play and showing graphic. For Pete, you grapple, a close-up avoid graphic and distress, and Eddie has a light up and weird, and it's actually a laser. Eddie joke about it, but it dangerous after Muffy Barbie go to pee, and Buffy go to pee, and she want a real man. Then Spike kiss Muffy and use the Tromaville High, and warn hurts Gonzo and fight the real Cretans, and he even gone. Honestly, he got swirly by Gonzo and Spike, and Warren goes nurse, and there 6 months. The school kicked them out, and Barbie say it's a free country, and they all sing the American national anthem, America the Beautiful. Now, honestly, 4 workers actually died at 54 and 9 minutes. They were scanning radiation off the charts until they actually died of radiation poison, but one of the workers died of get eaten through the barrel and left behind only a hand. Mr. Paley tried to call expect radioactivity. He actually acts like he doesn't want to do his job, almost like Homer Simpson. At the junkyard, the Cretan plan a revenge, and the Cretans actually decide they're going to get Warren and the principal. They actually decide goes start shooting a gun. Barbie is what Cretans that kiss Christie. They actually strangle Warren, but he survived. They strangle Wesley, but he survives. The secretary got shot by Bud at 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 11 seconds. Spike and Toru kiss Chrissy. Honestly, the rest of the tried to talk to Principal Wesley, and they triggered the nuclear. Gonzo triggered the nuclear alarm, and the drill. It's an emergency. And Warren tried to find Chrissy, and Mr. Paley goes to the school, and Toru get Chrissy blood on the necklace, and the Krita invade the school, motorcycle in the school. Inside, Warren runs to get Chrissy. The Cretans tear up the school with spray paint, everything in chaos. Warren sees Spike and Toru and the toxic waste bubbling again. They would try to perform minor surgery on the monster bursts out of the toxic waste, and Toru goes on the count, get her head punched in at 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 5 seconds. Spike shoot the monster, knock it off, and goes to ride his bike on, and Mr. Perry is there. Lumpy after them, and the monster rip off his Lumpy's face at 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 45 seconds. They actually ran. Gonzo was actually mourning his death until Gonzo got his eyes poked out by the monster tentacle at 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 49 seconds. Mr. Wesley untied, and Barbie and Bud were driving spray things until the monster ripped Bud's head off at 1 hour and 38 seconds. The final battle, they actually gun blazing the lab. It's time to die, Spike said, and he got dragged away and spent. But he's still alive. He has Christie. Warren is going to laser, and day to the hologram come on. The whole place start to blow, and they run out, and Mr. Prouty go to the lab, and he, Muffy, and all of them got killed off screen, and the monster, all of them got killed by the explosion. At 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 58 seconds. The school is destroyed, school is out, the music plays, and the movie ends with the school being rebuilt and the monster leave behind a spawn. How many lives lost did the class of Nuke High actually got? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Man, I cannot believe this weed is for us. Nexus, gentlemen, really? You know, they have hallucinations. Let's get to the number. 26 people and one monster lost their lives to class of Nuke High. 16 males, 10 females, and one monster across an 5-minute runtime. That gives us a 0.305 lives lost per minute, with one life lost every hour at 3.27 minutes. A radioactive pace for a radioactive movie. The great acts of execution for radioactive coolest death goes to Dewey. Honestly, it's the first major death in a kill, but it's actually set the tone of the glowing and chaotic of the Troma madness. One of the most iconic scenes of the franchise. Critics call it the moment of the most movie of fully Troma. Films remember as it created and remember. It's actually the kill. Everyone talk about and defined the movie. It made Nuke High a cult classic. The Whippy Axe goes to the Whippy Axe Adonis goes to the lamest death. That is less nuclear. Go to Mr. Paisley. Explosion death. Why? It happened on screen, but it actually had no build up, no punch, and no stand out. He just disappeared from the explosion, and the trauma, wild chaos from all the other deaths. Why is a whip at? It's a terrible way, and nothing, no style, and no trauma, and just gone boot. And that's it. Released in 1986, and will actually be followed by part 2, part 3, and Return of Troma, Return of Nuke High, part volume 1 and 2. I will actually cover them if anybody recommend them. But for now, I'm actually going to do Misery on Saturday. Have a good day. Bye.